So thank you for joining us. I'm Alan Ross of EPRA, and this is an EPRA Take 5. My guest is Tom Sanders. I first met Tom in 2016 when we asked him to do a presentation at the Comet Conference. And then again, we bumped into each other probably at the Chow table at NEDA in 2018. And Tom has been part of the industry. He is with Ozark Engineering. He is a power distribution engineer and has a lot of knowledge about industrial electrical system reliability. We at EPRA did a survey and we asked a bunch of questions. Tom took the survey, but then he sent me a note and said, Alan, you blew it. You should have asked these questions. And when I read those questions, I thought, there's our next survey. But Tom, we haven't got all the results tallied from the first survey. We will be reporting on that. But you can rest assured you will see this again as a survey. But go ahead and explain, when you wrote to me, you said these are some things that are happening as a result of the pandemic in industrial electrical systems reliability that we should take into consideration. If you would just share those with us.
Okay, so I saw the survey and I realized that we're experiencing more issues than what you touched on in the survey. And I thought, well, this may be some valuable information for you. So anyway, I wrote these out and sent them to you. So I'm gonna kind of review those now. With what we're seeing in this industry is a personnel shortage. It's due to multiple reasons. One is a 14-day quarantine for people with confirmed or suspect COVID infections. You'll see part of the mask. The reason I'm wearing a mask is I have an office and there's people walking by my office, so I'm exposed. So the mask is a requirement right now. So the 14-day quarantine for people that are tested positive or those that are around them. So that 14-day and contact tracing can go pretty deep depending on how many people that suspect or confirmed case was exposed to. COVID screening and site access denial. We've set up policies to deny access to what is considered, non-essential people that aren't essential for reliable production machine operations. So that's hampered some of the projects because now I have experts that provide startup and reliability support. So they're unable to come on site to provide those services. So we're hampered in some of those aspects in completing projects on time.
Tom, would that include testing personnel to come on site that do the normal testing in those?
Right now, no.
Yes.
I'm in the process of scheduling my annual electrical testing where we'll shut the plant down, go through all those test activities. At this point, I'm still 7 weeks out from that date. And at this point, I have a go, meaning that I'm still scheduled and all my plans are taking place for them to be on site on my test date.
Okay.
Should the COVID infection rate change, that's also subject to change.
Okay.
But at this point, it's a go. Parts availability and shipping delays. I'm seeing parts availability where vendors are saying a part's not available in 1 or 2 weeks. Normally, they're available in 5 to 6 weeks. Shipping is even delayed. So things that normally took us 4 or 5 days to receive, now it's taking 2 or 3 weeks sometimes on what I would normally think is immediately available parts, but they're not immediately available anymore. Something else is kind of odd as far as an impact to this was there's some folks retiring early. They're like, no, I don't want to do this. So they were knocking on the door of retirement anyway. And some events sometimes can spur retirements that are unexpected, and this thing being one of them. We also implemented some salary working from home, some salary staff working from home. And that was somewhat of a blessing as well as a hindrance in getting projects completed. Projects require specific technical skill sets. And when those people aren't on site, now there's an opening that can't be filled because the expertise is at home. You can do work from home sometimes, but on machine supports, production machine support, sometimes that's not easy to do from home. So these are some things that I've observed in this operations that has impacted our ability to reliably provide product to our customers.
So I think when, when you sent those, all of them, I have kind of validated, if you will. I've talked to other members and said, hey, we had some input here. We sent the survey out. Thanks for taking it. But how has this impact? And everybody said, yeah, that would be a great survey question. So for anybody out there that's got some feedback on this or experiences with what Tom has just gone through, please just let us know and let's start a conversation about it. But overall, Tom, I guess when you go through that, overall, the adjustment that you've had to make to all of these factors and all of the other factors that we did cover in the survey has added more, I guess I would say, I'm going to say stress, but it's not stress. Make it focus. It is added to your job a focus that you didn't have to worry about before. Is that fair to say?
Oh, absolutely. It's an additional element of complexity that's added to a already complex job of providing, reliability power systems. And this aspect changes it completely. And my outage again is 6 to 7 weeks away, so I'm sure there will be something else thrown in the mix as we begin to get closer to execute that will also require more attention to be able to execute that project properly.
Because if somebody on that audit team, if somebody that you've got as a contractor comes in, is then they in turn have to go in quarantine because of something, then you're going to lose that expertise. And actually, you don't know that until it actually, it comes up, because these are very unique times. My point in that last question is we are asking people like you, we're asking them to not only do their job of bringing reliable electrical systems and keeping them reliable, but we're asking them to do it at a very difficult time. And I don't think we consider, you guys frontline workers, but you keep a lot of workers working, because if your plant's shut down, everybody shuts down. So kudos to you. Thank you for doing it. Thank you so much that you cared enough to let us know what we missed. And Tom, I really appreciate that. I appreciate that about you. And I know we'll see each other out there soon. Tom's from Paris, Texas. So I did, I did that. That was pretty good. But Tom, thank you for joining us on a Take Five. I'm sure we will see you on one of our forums when we have a panel discussion about things like, because that's how we're using the surveys to set up a forums where we can actually talk about what we're doing as a result of the pandemic. I actually decided we wouldn't do that because I thought it would be over by now, but it is not over, and it looks like it might actually get worse. So we will ask you to be a panelist on one of our future forums if you're willing to do that.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. And this has been a Take Five from EPRA EPRA, the Electric Power Reliability Alliance. I'm Alan Ross. My guest was Tom Sanders. Have a great week.